Welcome, friends. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell. You can see what the title is, so let's just get right to it. Let's go. And my first change to the Gote lineup is the Keto Corpse captain. We haven't had a Keto Corpse captain in over 100 years, and I think it's about time we get a new one. A lot of the other Vizards came back to the fold after FKT, so I think it's possible for them to come back after 1,000 Year Blood War, seeing as kind of how bad things went, and the fact that there are a couple more Vizards who joined back with the Gote at the end of 1,000 Year Blood War. I think it only makes sense. Hachi is a fantastic Keto Master. He clearly is at least as good as Tessai now with the addition of his Hollow Mask and some of the other abilities he can do. Like, he can pull off time manipulation and teleportation without the time limit that you saw Tessai have to use back in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc. I think Hachi has more than deserved this spot and has proved in his fight with Baragon that he is capable of fighting even the highest and most capable of villains. I couldn't find him in Lieutenant. I could have playfully put Orihime in here, but I'm not really going to do that. I couldn't think of one, but I did have this problem a little bit later, and I did kind of fill it in. You'll see when we get to that part of the list, but for Keto Corpse Captain, I think the easy choice here is Hachigen. This next entry is going to upset some Mayuri fans, but here at this spot, I have Akkon as the new Squad 12 captain. Akkon is one of my favorite background characters in Bleach, and I personally think Mayuri should have died in the 1,000 Year Blood War just because of his moral ambiguity with the Quincy. I think it would have been more poetic for him to die, but we all know he's Kubo's favorite, so that wasn't going to happen. As for the new Squad 12 Lieutenant, I think the answer is easy. It's Hiyori. Both Akkon and Hiyori have worked together before, and as I've already been bringing back the Vizards, I really think that Squad 12 should have a powerhouse that was previously held by Nemu, who was both intelligent and powerful, who worked as a good lieutenant for Mayuri and a good predecessor to Akkon, and I think he'll help raise Nemu alongside Hiyori. I believe this change also works for Hiyori because Hiyori likes familiarity, and if she wants to come back to something, I don't think she'd go back to Shinji. I think Squad 12 would be the best place for her to go because it had her previous two captains, and again, Akkon is there. It might not get along perfectly, but I think that familiarity with Hiyori's character, I think that'll make her feel better about being a lieutenant again. If you question Akkon's ability to fight, well, the new one-shot chapter, No Breath from Hell, shows us what he can really do as a combatant. Also, in the 1,000 Year Blood War, Akkon showed off his skill, ironclad determination, and ability to keep calm in dire situations, while being just as useful as both his previous teachers. That's why Hiyori and Akkon are my pick for Squad 12. Now this one most people probably saw coming. Shuhei Hisagi for Squad 9. I'm one of those people that think a lot more people should have died in the 1,000 Year Blood War, and I honestly do think that was Kubo's intention. I think just after the Byakuya incident, I think he was a bit hesitant about killing characters. With that said, Shuhei Hisagi is one of my favorite Bleach characters. I'm happy they made novels about him, and he's in my top 10. I do think he should have been the new captain by the end of the series. I think the development was there. I think his arc, as far as that part of his life, was complete. And the fact that he at some point got to work under both of his idols, I think that was great character development. Even though it was hinted at in the manga, the novel does, if it's canon, tell us that Hisagi does have a Bankai, which is fantastic, which makes him captain worthy. And I think his maturity and the fact that he does paperwork makes him a good captain, because the person I have as lieutenant kind of needs to be a very responsible person. For my Squad 9 lieutenant, obviously it's got to be Mashiro. Mashiro Kuna I think would be a fantastic lieutenant to Hisagi for two reasons. One, she's fun-loving. She'll be able to kind of be the rah-rah person for the squad. I know not all squads need that, but I think Squad 9 needs it. I think her excitability makes her good for both aspects, the combat and the fact that they kind of work as like a reporter and investigation newspaper side of things. I think that's useful. And the fact that she is extremely powerful with her Hollow Mask. She's going to push Shuhei. She's going to push him. He kind of needs the kick in the butt sometimes, and I think she's the fantastic person to do that as a lieutenant. So my Squad 9 picks carry on Kensei's legacy and become the new captain and lieutenant at the end of the series. The next entrance for Squad 7 is easy. It's Love Akiwa. I love Love. I don't like who I have as lieutenant, and you'll see what I did later in one of the entries. But I think he easily can come back just like I've done with the other visored captains. He's qualified, he's more than qualified to be a captain. He'll fight anyone. Like, he jumps in and picks Stark, the strongest Espada on the battlefield, when they show up in FKT. That's impressive, and it shows a willingness to defend and protect. To be honest, with the way the Gotei is now, they need as much power as they can get. And getting another captain level fighter who can use a hollow mask to boost his abilities just makes the Gotei even stronger. And I think it would be nice for him, because he kind of seemed close with Rose. I think it would be nice for him to come back and join the Gotei and help them out, along with the other visors who are coming back from the human world. I am an unashamed Sajin and Iba hater. I really don't like Squad 7. I don't like Sajin and I don't like Iba. I think Kubo putting Iba at the captain position at the end of the series just didn't make sense. Iba has no character development. We know nothing about the man except that his mom used to be a lieutenant and used to beat up on Rose and has high expectations for him. But that wasn't even in the manga itself, so we can't really take anything from it. On top of that, Iba isn't a popular character. I didn't understand that choice. Iba has done absolutely nothing in the series. The most notable thing you can say that Iba did was to stop Freight Karakura Town from coming back when he used those little tools to stop the barrier from breaking. That is the most notable thing he has done in the series. And that's pretty sad. Anytime he's been shown, he either gets destroyed by Ion in one hit, although the other lieutenants took multiple hits. He play-fought Ikkaku during the invasion of Soul Society in the Soul Society arc, and he does nothing in the 1,000-Year Blood War. He doesn't even look injured. The man does nothing. So, cutting this one short, I have Love Akiwa and Iba. If you've been keeping up with the theme of this video, then you should already know I'm making changes. Here on Squad 6, we have Renji as the captain and Mihane Shirogane as the lieutenant. I know the second one's a bit of a surprise, so I'll explain it later. As much as I hate Renji, I do love what Kubo was originally going to do by killing off Byakuya and finally giving Renji the chance to shine in place of him and become a captain. I was never one who bought into the Renji has to defeat Byakuya to become captain and move past him to succeed him kind of person, because it doesn't make sense for that to happen. Renji finally actually beating Byakuya would down Byakuya's character. And if it happens later in life when Byakuya's older, or he's been a veteran so long, or Renji got special training, then it wouldn't feel as special. And I think Byakuya dying would have been the better way to succeed him. So in this scenario, Kubo went through with his plans. Byakuya is now dead. Renji goes up and does the Royal Guard training, becomes as powerful as he needs to properly surpass Byakuya in power without Byakuya having to look like he didn't train or something like that. Because later we saw that Byakuya also had to get the Royal training to stay ahead of Renji so that that character arc isn't messed up. We can't have Renji, a lieutenant, being more powerful than Byakuya in that moment, especially at the end of the war. With that said, I don't think I need to actually explain how powerful Renji is or why he'd be a good captain, because clearly in the 1,000-Year Blood War, he is at least as strong as Kensei and Rose are. Transitioning to Mihane Shirogane, the lieutenant, this one's going to be a bit of a shocker because she may not seem like a real character, but she's actually a canon character in the manga. She has a total of 3 appearances, 2 of which being in the colorful Bleach bootleg published by Shueisha and written and drawn by Tate Kubo, and in episode 258 of the anime in the Shimigami's Illustrated Book Guide. If you're wondering why I chose her, it's pretty simple. From what we've seen in Bleach, because of the royal families, and earlier when I showed the list of the captains and lieutenants from Turn Back the Pendulum, we kind of get a sense that someone's potential, or at least spirit energy potential, is genetic, and her father is actually the former lieutenant of Squad 6. This information was given to us by Tate Kubo, and I think that that's pretty important. They run the sunglasses shop that Renji gets his shades and goggles from, and Iba does. Meaning that she's used to working with paperwork and things like that. I think she's a perfect lieutenant, and she's already a 9th seat in between the 1,000-Year Blood War, a lot of people dying, and her potential. I think she could eventually, or even just move right into that lieutenant spot. I think she has the drive for it. And it makes sense because Renji is more of a brute. I'm not gonna give him anything more than that. and I think she's probably perfect for a lieutenant for him. And for our final entry, yes, we have a filler character. I know, it's Shusuke Amagai. A lot of people didn't like this arc. I did, and I liked this character a lot, and I think he's perfect for Squad 3 captain. First of all, he was that in the filler, and on top of that, he's very powerful. He fought Ichigo toe-to-toe. Granted, he was using a bit of thing, but the fact that he could even compete with someone like Kenpachi Zaraki during his captaincy test, I think that's highly impressive. The best part, Shunsui now has a drinking buddy again. But in a more serious note, I think his character design was fantastic. We get another Fire Zanpakuto. It's a bit over-designed. I would like to see maybe this blade itself kind of come back a bit. But it's still nice. I like his character. He's a nice guy. He fits Squad 3 so well. And in the sense that you could still kind of keep that whole I don't like Yamamoto thing because I know something about him you don't. It really kind of puts in perspective that concept of like when we saw that Yamamoto had killed over 1 trillion people, his dad, just like in the filler, that could have been one of them. And we could have talked about this man who doesn't like Yamamoto because he was on the receiving end of when Yamamoto was that violent, evil person. And even if he would badmouth Yamamoto, his sweet nature and the fact that he cares, I think would really counter that, and you'd have this really interesting dynamic between basically the son of Yamamoto and Shunsui and Shusuke's character being best friends. What I also like, and the reason I moved a Tao to lieutenant position in Squad 3, is because I don't like Iba, and I don't like him being a lieutenant to Iba. Iba clearly is kind of off-put by the kid as well, as you saw in the No Bus from Hell, but somebody like Shusuke would really accept the Tao, and I really think he would train and try to get the best out of him. Shusuke is just a really cool guy. Even in this moment where he's fighting Ichigo, he still cared about Ichigo. He told Ichigo to butt out. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to fight you. This is just about my revenge. And that's why I like the character so much. Sometimes the animation quality dipped out in the filler, and that sucks. But I think, for the most part, it was still an interesting concept and story. Now, technically, Shusuke is just a placeholder because he's a filler character, and I don't have anyone to really put there. But you could fill this part in with anyone you like. The reason I chose Shusuke was just because there was a character who had been Squad 3 captain. And technically, the way they said he was not in the story previously could still work. He could have just not been at this area. He could have been on a mission outside Soul Society or somewhere else, and they got stuck, and they couldn't come back. Because it only takes place over 9 days. The 1,000-year Blood War, it's a week. So it kind of makes sense why he wouldn't participate if he was stuck somewhere. Maybe Hueco Mundo, or maybe he got stuck fighting Punishment Force in Hueco Mundo with some Quincy's. You never know. But this is more of just a placeholder, but I filled it with Shusuke. So that's why I picked Shusuke and a Tao for Squad 3. Thank you if you got this far in the video. This is my 3rd video out this week. This is what I was shooting for after I lost my phone and had those other issues. I was trying to get 3 of them out this week, and I did. So please like and subscribe. Have a good day, guys. Bye.